Hello guys, good afternoon and welcome to the Power BI session of the Global Power Platform Bootcamp of 2021. My name is Zainab Balogun of Vayoza. If you were wondering, Vayoza is a Kogi name. I'm an Ibira girl, so that's probably not necessary information, but yeah. Okay, I'm a data analyst.
Yeah, sorry, by the time you said you'll be going in about an hour time. If you are leaving, can I still continue my work?
I thought I was leaving.
Zainab, you can go ahead,
Yeah?
please. Please continue.
Okay. All right, I'm data analyst at Foresight BI. I use Power BI. My interests are in data visualization, analysis. I like to draw and I like to read. Yeah, I like reading a lot. Like I have my books I like. All right, this is my LinkedIn stuff here in case you want to connect with me. So what are we going to be learning today? We are going to be learning how to get started with Power BI. What is Power BI, the tools in Power BI, the building blocks of Power BI. And we are also going to be building a simple dashboard with Power BI. So I hope that by the end of my session, you know what Power BI is, you know the tools, building blocks, and you know how to build a simple dashboard with Power BI. Okay, so getting started with Power BI. What is this Power BI I'm even talking about anyway? Power BI is a collection of software, services, apps, and connectors that work together to turn your unrelated sources of data into coherent, visually immersive, and interactive insights. This is probably too much English, but basically, Power BI is a business intelligence tool that is used to gather insights, that is used to gather data, to find insights from raw data, from a raw organization's data. Yeah, so Power BI is a very powerful corporate tool that you can use to make sense of raw information. You can use to extract data from multiple sources. You can use it to clean and transform your data, and you can also use it to create visually compelling reports and dashboards, and you can share these dashboards within your organization or externally. And you can also use it to consume information. Yes, so that is what Power BI is. This image is showing a Power BI that extract data from multiple sources, like I said, from the cloud, from internet, from SQL Server, from an Access database, from an Excel flat file, from a MailChimp, and it collects this data and it uses it to create reports, beautiful reports, insightful, meaningful reports for your organization that you can make sense with. Okay, so what are the tools in Power BI? There are 3 tools in Power BI, divided into 3 tools, or let's say elements of Power BI. So Power BI, we have one, Power BI Desktop, then Power BI Service, and Power BI Mobile. So what is Power BI Desktop? Power BI Desktop is the one that is available to you locally on your Windows PC. It is the one that you download and you can work with offline. It is where you can extract your data from your data source. It is where you can transform your data. And what I mean by transforming is cleaning your data, like preparing your data for use for whatever you want to use it for your reports. Yeah, that's what you can use it for. You can use it to extract data, you can use it to clean data, and you can use it to create reports and visuals, visually interactive visuals for your audience. That is what your Power BI Desktop is used for. It is available locally. And your Power BI service is a service that is available on the cloud. It is available online. That is where you get to share the report that you have created on the desktop. That is where you get to share it to. You get to share it and you get to collaborate with other people in the organization. That is what your Power BI service is for. You can also use the Power BI service for so many other things too. You can use to even build your reports, but basically you to share and to publish and to collaborate. Third and the last tool in Power BI is the Power BI Mobile. The Power BI Mobile is the one that is available to you on your mobile phone. It is the one you can use to consume your data, where you consume the reports that you have created on the desktop, consume the report that you have shared on the service. It is the one that is available to you on the go that you can use to monitor your metrics, that you can use to monitor your numbers, what is increasing, which numbers are decreasing, and how your report is doing. That is the Power BI mobile. So if I were to ask, what are the tools in Power BI? I hope that you know them now. We have the desktop, the service, and the Power BI mobile. Next is the building blocks of Power BI. First building block of Power BI is the visualization. Building blocks are like, they are what make up the output of a Power BI report. They are the building blocks. Building blocks. If you did Lego while you were little, you would know what building blocks are. They are what make up the final output of a Power BI report. So first is the visualizations. Visualizations are visual representations of your data. They are like charts, basically charts of visuals on your data that are available in your Power BI desktop or service. That's what visualizations are. And the next are the data sets. That is your collection of data that is used to create visuals. These are your raw files that you extracted from the multiple data sources. It can be from Excel, it can be from SQL Server, like I've said before. It's a collection of raw data that you can use to create visuals and reports. Those are your data set. That is where you start from. And next is your report. Your report is a collection of visuals, usually a page or more. It's usually more than a page, your report, because it is comprehensive and it is more in-depth analysis, more in-depth visualization of your data sets and what you have created from your visuals. That's what your report is. And next is your dashboard. Your dashboard is like a summary page from your report. It is what you want the audience to first see when they look at your report. So usually a page, usually just a single page with the most important metrics, with the most important charts, with the most important visuals. And next, last is the tiles. A tile is a single visualization on a report. Think of it like a frame or report that houses a visual. You can adjust this tile, you can reposition this tile, and you can change the dimensions. And you can also pin your tile onto a dashboard. That is what your tile is. So these 5 things are what make up your building block in Power BI. This is your tile. And so if I were to ask what are the building blocks of Power BI, I hope that you know what they are. Like I said, they are the visualizations, the data sets, the reports, dashboard, and tiles. And if I ask what is the common flow of activity in Power BI, common flow of activity in your Power BI begins at the Power BI desktop in your locally available desktop. It begins from there, where you create your reports, where you extract your data, and where you transform your data. It is where you also, that's what you do on your Power BI desktop. And next is the Power BI service, where you view and interact with these reports, where you share, where you collaborate. And also the last one is the Power BI mobile, where you consume this data that you have created on the desktop and shared on the service. So if we are going to go practical now, let's go and build a simple dashboard on Power BI. I hope you guys understand what I have said so far. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. Okay, please confirm that you can see my screen, David.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
My Power BI screen.
Okay, no.
Really?
We can see PowerPoint screen.
Okay, I'm trying to share my Power BI screen. Okay, let me try. Please hold on. So can you see my Power BI screen now?
You've not shared?
But I shared it.
No, I think you canceled your sharing.
Okay, let me try again.
So everybody, let's hold on a little bit. Zainab wants to just reshare our Power BI screen.
Yes.
Okay,
How about
good.
now?
Yeah, good.
Okay. So this is the first thing you come across when you download your everybody can see my screen right now. This is what you come across when you download your Power BI locally into your system. This is what comes in your face. This is the welcome page. So let's just take this away for now. We don't need it. So this is what they call the report view. This is the report view in your data. This is where you create your visuals. This is where, you create your visuals. And this one is the data view. This is where your data comes into, where you can monitor your data and try to consume your data before you analyze. And here is the model view, where you create relationships between different tables in case you have more than one table in your data. So let's get to it. You understand it better as I go. So if I want to get a data from my data source, for this example, I'm going to be using an Excel file, but it is the same way, the same method. So we go to the get data first, and these are different data sources. We have the Excel, the Power BI data set, SQL Server. We also have multiple data sources. Let's just try to check them out. But for this case, we are going to use the Excel and Excel file. It is loading, so it takes some time. I hope you guys are following though. Why is it taking time? Okay, finally. So these are all your multiple data sources that you can get data from. You can see Azure, you can see Microsoft Azure, Adobe Analytics, GitHub, from Twilio. Yeah, you might not even be able to use everything when you start to use Power BI. But yeah, it just shows you that there are so many choices to pick from. So for this session, I'm going to be picking my data from Excel. So I'm going to hit the connect button to go to my Excel file on my computer. And yeah, this is where my Excel is. This is already navigated, but in case you have to navigate to where it is on your computer. And for me, it is already there. So I'm just going to click this and click open. So it is bringing it into Power BI. Takes some time, but we are going to wait. I have all day. Okay, yeah. So this is the navigator window, where you get to select what page or what sheet your data is in. So my data is in sheet 1. I'm just going to check that box like I already did, and I'm going to. So yes, I have 2 options here, 3 options actually, but we already know what this is for. I have 2 options here. I can either decide to load my data straight into Power BI, or I can decide to transform my data. What that means, what loading means, is that when I hit load, it's going to bring the data directly. It's going to pour the data directly into my Power BI desktop. I'm not going to be able to clean or transform this data. I'm not going to be able to prepare your data. So you should only choose load if you are very sure that your data is clean and there's nothing wrong with it, that there's no adjustments you need to make to your data. That's when you should only click load. And transform, when you hit transform data, it's going to take you to what is called Power Query. Power Query is a very, very powerful tool for cleaning your data. You can use it to add columns, to remove columns, to fill nulls, to fill empty rows, to change the data type. You can use for multiple things. Yeah, that's what Power Query is for. But for the sake of this session, I'm going to just hit the load because I am sure. I am 99% sure that my data is clean. So let's just load it into Power BI. It takes a while. Always takes a while. Okay, yeah, so my data is in, but you'll not see the data in this report view, like I said, this is where you create your visuals, but you can notice that the columns have now appeared on the right side of your screen. But if you want to see your data in a data form, you go to the data view. Like I mentioned, this is where you can get to have a feel of what your data looks like. So yeah, I can see how many rows I have in my data here, 9999 rows. I can count how many columns are there and try to take note of what columns and what analysis I'm going to perform here. And the third view, the model view, I can also use this to have a feel of what my columns are. If there were multiple tables or more than one tables in my data, I can use this model view to connect, to create relationships between two tables, because you need both of them to be connected to each other to create reports. So yeah, but I only have one table here, so I don't need to do any connections. I'm just going to go straight to my report view and start creating my dashboard. Yes, my dashboard. Okay, so first of all, let us make a title, the name for our dashboard. Okay, for that, go to your Insert tab and just pick a text box and try to name my data. Let me name this Power Platform Sales Data. So I can decide to enlarge this, increase the font, make it very legible and title-like, centralize it like this, yes, and adjust it. So this is my title. Let me just make it more visible by adding a background. So I can also perform formatting on Power BI, and I'm going to just change the background into something light. Let's use purple. Yeah, okay. I think this is okay for the purpose of this. And let's also, if I need borders, you can also add borders if you want. I'm going to add borders. Okay. Power Platform Sales Data. So we have a title. It is important you have a title for your dashboard, by the way, so you know, so your audience knows what they are looking at and they won't be lost when they see your data. Okay, so since this is a sales data, we should try to know what the audience wants to see. And for a sales data, the numbers that people want to see is basically total sales, the total quantity of goods sold, the revenue, the sales by country, the sales by gender, the sales by product, which products is making the most sales, which country is making the least sales, which country is making the least profits, and stuff like that. So for the first, we're just going to find our total revenue first. And for that, I'm going to pick my card visual. And take note, this is the visualizations pane where you have like 30 visuals inside here already, default 30 visuals. But there are so many other charts available online that you can import into your Power BI. But for the sake, this is a beginner's class, and you should know how to use the default charts before going to bring external charts into your Power BI. So let me just pick the card visual. The card visual only requires one requirement. Sorry, only requires one field. Yes, only requires one field, and that field that I need is my revenue. And I'm just going to check the box here. Power BI is smart enough to put it straight into the box, into the empty box. So yes, you can see that my total revenue for this sales data is 2 million. 2 million. Yes. So my total revenue is 2 million. I'm just going to adjust it and add the same and add a background. Yes, this is my fields pane. This is my formatting pane. The formatting pane, you can do different types of formatting and designing to your chart. So for the sake of this, I'm just going to add a background to make it legible. Let's use a gray background. Yes, and also add a border. Yes, so I think this is okay like this. Let me just resize this. So we've created our first chart, our revenue, which is 2 million. Next thing that we want to see, that we might like to see, is the total number of total number of goods that were sold. Like how many goods have we sold over this period of time? Let's also pick another card visual to try to find that. We all know we pick your card visual first from the visualizations pane, and then you go to your fields pane to pick the column that you want. And for this, in this case, I'm just going to pick my order quantity. That is the number of quantity, the number of goods that were sold. I'm just going to click that, and yes, it brings it out for me. I have 143,000 goods that were sold in the Power Platform organization. So yeah, I'm also going to go and make it into this by adding a gray background. This is not the color. Adding a gray background, and also giving it a border like its brother above. Yes, so we have this. You can readjust your chart however you like in your report view, however you like. Okay, so what next? What else do we want to show in our dashboard? Let us check the profit by country. Let us check which country is making us the most profit, and let's check which country is making us the least profit. Let us use a what am I saying? Let us use a bar chart, a simple bar chart for that. A simple bar chart. Okay, bar chart or column chart? I'll pick a bar chart. So first you click on the chart that you want to use, you click on it on the visualizations pane, and then you select the columns from the fields pane. So I said we are looking for what? Our profit by country, our profit, the countries that made us the most profit, and the countries that made us the least profit. So I need my country field first. I need my country field. I'm just going to click that, and Power BI is going to impute it in the box that fits. And I also need my revenue, yes, because my profits, because I'm looking for the profit, the country that made me the most profit. Those are the two criteria. So I'm just going to click that, and yes, Power BI brings it out for me, and I can see how many countries I have here. I'm just going to drag that down so it's more legible. I can see how many countries I have here. There are 6 countries in total. The country that made me the most profit is the United States profits. The United States country, sorry, United States, and the one with the least profit is France. You can then go ahead to ask questions like, why is this so? What are you doing in the United States that you are not doing in France? What is happening in France? What is happening in Germany? And what is influencing the growth in United States? So let me just add my formatting, my regular formatting to this. In the formatting pane, go to my background, change the color like this, and also add a border like I've been doing. Add a border. So yeah, if I click out of it, I can see that it is formatted how I like it. But I also want to see the numbers. What's the number of the respective countries in front of them. For that, I'm going to turn on the data labels. That's what you call data labels. If you want to see your numbers, you turn on your data labels. And yes, so I have my data labels. I can see how much exactly United States is making, how much exactly France is making. And then since I have my data labels, I don't have any need for this x-axis anymore. So I'm just going to turn that off. You also need to make sure that your chart is clean as possible. So information that are not required should leave. Information that are required should stay. But try as much as you can to try to limit the amount of information that is on your chart, so that your audience can easily grasp what is going on in your reports or your dashboard. Okay, so next one that I'm going to try to find is my revenue by subcategory. So I have a subcategory and I have my revenue. I want to see what product subcategory is making me the most money, is bringing in the most revenue. So let me use another type of chart for that. Let me use a donut chart. A donut chart is basically a pie chart with a hole in it. So yeah, since I'm looking for my subcategory, I'm going to go and pick product subcategory here. just click that box and also click the box for my revenue here. Yes. So from here, I can identify what subcategory is making me the most revenue, and that seems to be the bottles and cages. Next is the bike racks. Next is the bike stands. So what is going on? Why is bottles and cages making me the most money? Why are these ones so low? Is it that they don't have as much use for these ones as they do for these ones? You can go ahead and start asking these questions to try and find out what is happening and why it is so since we have this, yeah, let's format. But instead of going through the normal formatting, if you've used Excel before, you know the concept of format painter. So I'm just going to use my format painter to make it like this instead of going and doing that one by one. So I'll just click my format painter here and then pour it here, and I have that. Easy peasy. So my last but not the least visual I'm going to be showing is the slicer. So this is my slicer here. A slicer is basically a filter. If you know what a filter is, a filter like a normal filter is used to select only a certain number of stuff that you want to see. It's only used to, you use it when you want to just see a selected number of things in your organization also. So yeah, this is my slicer, and for my slicer I want to know which gender, how much this gender is making, how much this gender pulled in, how much the other gender pulled in. So I'm just going to bring in my gender column. Your slicer only requires one field, by the way, like you want to just see one thing. So I'm just going to put in my gender column here. Yes, so I have the female for F and M for male. Yeah, so let me just increase this so you can see it properly. Slicer items. Also in the formatting pane, go and increase the size of your slicer so it can be legible. I think, no, let me increase it more. Okay, so yeah, I think this is legible enough. So if I want to see the total number of revenue, total number of quantities, the profits made by female, I'm just going to click this and it's going to show me. Notice how this chart changed. Let me do that again so you can see. Notice how this chart changed to only display information for the female gender. So this is the total number of revenue made by the female gender, total number of quantity that they took off our hands, total number of profits, the profits for the female. Everything you are seeing on your screen right now, apart from this title, is your female information. And then you can also do that for the male and see how much they make, how much they pulled in, the other quantities, the profits, and can try to compare. As we can see here, the male gender pulled in more revenue than the female, 882K, and here is 780K. So that what your slicer is for. You can use it you can also use it for other things. Just make sure that whatever you're putting into your slicer, it is not too much. It is something that is not less than like 5 fields, something you can easily pick from, so you know that it's not going to be confusing. So to unselect that, I'm just going to click that again, and let me just make it this format painter and that. Okay, so yeah, now I have a dashboard. I have a simple dashboard that I built in seconds, no, not seconds, minutes. That I built in minutes. That's the beauty of Power BI. Power BI is easy to use. You don't have to know programming or so to be able to use it. It is just mostly drag and drop. Just need to know a few formulas, and you have to be willing to learn it, to stay with it, to understand it properly. But it is easy to use. It is really easy to use, and it is a very important tool, very important, very useful tool for any data analysis, any data analyst or any data analysis organization. Or you don't even have to be a data analysis organization to use Power BI. You might just want to make sense of your data, how to visualize it, interact with it. That is the purpose of Power BI. So here is our simple dashboard that I have created in how many minutes? Let's say 20 minutes. So yes, if you have any questions for me, please drop it in the comment section. But I am done with my dashboard. Thank you very much for staying with me.
Okay, thank you, Zainab. Thank you. You don't need to cut it. Let the screen be there.
Okay, let it be there. Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. So if there are any questions, can we put up, just ask your question. Zainab will answer those questions. Let's have them as we wait for our next speaker. Let's have them. So we are going for the last session, and so that we'll be able to just do our networking instead of we coming back for the last session. So let us do that. Let's ask our questions. We have some few minutes to ask questions. Let's do that. Let's ask questions. And also, while we are doing that, whatever you've learned, share with people. Snap a picture of what you're learning. Post them on your Twitter handle, your LinkedIn handle. And also, we sent a form for you, for those who don't have communities in their locations. How can we improve? And one thing is that we can have 2 or 3 community in a state, because we always know that it's not really easy for people to come in one place. So like in Lagos now, we can have a community on the island while we still have a community on the mainland. I definitely know that we even have a community in Lasso. Yes, in Lasso, I know that we have a community in Lasso. So really, we can have different community, but the major thing is that we are growing together. We are helping each other grow. That is the major thing. So we are trying as much as possible to have community in every state. And today we are launching Ekiti. We are also launching Plateau Jos. So you start getting information about the things that they are doing, and we are increasing those numbers. We'll be going to Delta soon. We'll go to different states. What we really want people to be able to, we really want to impact lives with Power Platform and other Microsoft technologies, So I also want you to join the Telegram group. It's important. That is where all the information that you can see is important. So let's see how we do it so that we can improve on the things that we're doing. So if you have questions, please ask questions. Please ask your questions. I'm just going to give. Okay, I think let me see one question. Okay, somebody is saying that thank you for the class, Zainab. Thank you for the class, Zainab. Okay, so let's see if there's any question. How do you start? So you can use from Microsoft Learn to start. If there are any questions, let's help you with Power BI questions for the little bit. So now we can also still go on and post on Twitter. What have you learned? What have you learned? Just take a cup of coffee or just take water and relax while we bring up the next speaker. So thank you very much, everybody. So just stay for 5 more minutes while we bring up the next speaker. Thank you. And bring in your questions.